Welcome to the Altitude Contrast Trainer setup. This tutorial takes about 4 minutes. You'll need a knife, a screwdriver, and a pair of pliers. Assembly takes about 30 minutes. Start out with the big box upright. Score the tape and remove the staples. Removing the staples protects the floor and the unit from damage. Open the top of the box and remove the packing and support items. Observe the position of the beveled edge because that's the direction the unit will tend to tip when it's turned upside down. Next, turn the entire box upside down. This method prevents you from having to lift the entire unit out of the box and prevents back strain. When you invert the box, make sure the flaps face outward so that the unit can come out of the box without interference. Slide the box upward like a sleeve. Pay attention to the position of the bevel edge because the unit will tend to tip in that direction. After the box is removed, the unit will be standing upside down on its top. Again, note the bevel edge. We do not want to roll the unit across the bevel edge to avoid damage to the controls. At this point, we're ready to rotate the unit around and lay it on its back. Install the casters by plugging them into the 4 holes in the bottom of the unit. Stand the unit upright on the newly installed casters. Remove the 2 screws on both sides of the unit and the 2 screws on the front. Lift off the front cover to expose the inside of the machine. The compressor is at the bottom of the unit and is protected by shipping pads. Remove the shipping pads with a firm tug. The concentrator units arrive with 2 air filter assemblies. Assemble as shown. On the inside, locate the air intake port. It's a brass fitting. Install the air filter into the intake port as shown. If you ever end up operating the unit in a dirty environment, the top stage of the filter can be cleaned with soap and water. Now we're all done inside. Replace the cover and replace the screws. The oxygen out port is in the lower right-hand side of the machine facing the back. Screw in the brass adapter fitting to this port. Next, attach the green tube adapter nipple. At this point, the oxygen output is fully configured. The next step is to configure the high altitude output. The next step is to unscrew the muffler as shown. Next, we'll screw in the adapter fitting to connect the hoses. Now the unit is ready for high altitude training. Now we're going to install the reservoir system. The reservoir is a hanging bag divided into 2 compartments. Locate the top center of the reservoir bag in the area of the wall that you'd like it placed, and install a wall hanger. Install 2 additional wall hangers to suspend the opposite corners of the reservoir. Note the reservoir has 2 compartments. The large compartment stores concentrated oxygen, while the small compartment stores high-altitude air. Each opposing corner has a port with a cinch tab for the input and output tubes. Attach the smaller hose to the green nipple on the concentrator, and insert the opposite end of the oxygen hose with the breather hose into the big reservoir end and cinch it with the strap. Now we do the same thing for the other side. Slide the larger diameter hose over the high altitude output fitting and insert the opposite end with the breather hose into the other corner of the reservoir bag and cinch. The hose assembly should look something like this. If you need help, just give us a call. To configure the mask, put the neoprene placeholder before you connect the hose. And note the plastic insertion fitting on the other end of the hose. The insertion fitting connects to either the high or low oxygen supply line. The next step is to set the concentrator flow. What we want to do is get as much oxygen out of the concentrator as possible, so we adjust the ball high but not pegged out to the top. It takes about 45 minutes to fill the bag, so we've included a timer to let you turn on the system about an hour before you get ready to use it. Don't worry about overflow or blowing up the bag or anything. The system will vent out if you overfill it. The next step is to move your exercise equipment into place and exercise for about 15 minutes. That does it all.